What if your biggest business problem wasn't getting enough leads, but having too many to handle? That sounds impossible if you're Mike from just 3 weeks ago, trapped at $1 million in revenue for 5 years, desperately driving hours for appointments and begging for whatever work you could find. But here's what's crazy, that's exactly where Mike is today. In just 14 days, he went from feast or famine to having a capacity problem he's now thrilled to have. But it gets better. His phone won't stop ringing. His calendar is booked solid for 5 weeks out, and he's already planning his second crew for next year. But here's the thing though, Mike almost didn't make this change. He'd been burned by marketing companies before, wasted over 20 grand on promises that never delivered. So what made the difference? In this video, you'll hear Mike tell his story in his own words, the real numbers behind this transformation, exactly what changed everything for him and why he says this is the best decision he's ever made for his business. How many appointments you got running today?
I think we have 3 or 4 later this afternoon.
Yeah.
So then tomorrow, yeah, we're running like 3 to 5 a day. So
yeah, are those coming from?
Yeah, almost all of them are from the ad. So
yeah, sick. That's exciting, man. That's exciting. I think we're like 2 weeks after launch right now, like a little over 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You've had how many appointments booked? 60?
Yeah, probably close to that on the schedule right now. So we're booking out I think all week next week's booked out, and then we're booking out that following week still too, after this week's booked out. So
yeah, that's wild. That's wild. Yeah. That's awesome. So, you guys are running hard.
Yeah, I feel like we hit the ground running on this one. So it's I wanted it to be this, so we were kind of anticipating it, but we didn't know what to expect when we first signed up. So
yeah, remind me what it was like before you started with me on this, in terms of just
so I mean, we were advertising with Facebook and Google. Back in the beginning of the year, I was probably spending, I think in March I spent like $2,500 on Google ads, and really wasn't generating much. So but we'd probably average 3 to 4 appointments a week.
Yeah.
So so we were able to stay busy, but it was like just busy enough to fill the weeks up. But we weren't staying like super far booked out, which I don't typically like. I like to be 5 weeks booked out would be ideal. So
yeah. So you went from, initially you were earlier this year, even you were doing 3 to 5 a week. You're doing how many today?
3 or 4 today.
Yeah.
So, that's every single day of the week, basically. So
yeah. And so you were doing some DIY Google ads, but you also, you guys sunk nearly 20 grand in SEO in the last little bit, right?
Right. Like last year we were signed up with Haibu.
Yeah.
And we were committed to them for 6 months, and I think we were at like $30-some hundred a month. So, and they were doing mostly SEO. We had to like tweak it throughout the process there, but they were doing some of our ads, but like it wasn't really generating the amount of leads that we needed to sustain paying that much in advertisement, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you were paying them $3,700 a month.
Yeah, it was 30-something hundred, 3,500, 30. I think
you paid and you worked with them for how many months? Just about.
We were contractor for 6 months.
So quick math, that's about 50 grand or a little bit more, plus or minus.
Yep.
And of that, you maybe attributed how many deals from that back to them?
Oh gosh, 20 maybe.
Yeah.
In 6 months. So it's not 6 months worth of work. It's probably like 2 months worth of work.
Yeah.
But for 6 months, with the this program, we've already, we just started getting all the bids out for the first 2 weeks. Like last week all of last week's bids are out. So now it's like kind of the waiting game,
Yeah.
seeing where people are at. I've had a lot of people say like they're interested in next spring, which that's good for us. We're you know it's nice to have that interest for next spring already versus waiting until February, March to book out
Hmm.
spring. Um, but I mean, I think we've closed 2 or 3 deals already. Uh,
Contract value of how much total?
I think. Sorry, someone keeps calling me. It's probably season proof, trying to tell me if a lead's coming in or something. But trying to think. First one is 17 grand. Probably like 40, 45 grand for sure.
Yeah.
So
So, and you do gross profit margin for you guys?
yeah, we're
What is-
probably like a solid 40%.
Yeah.
So
So right now you've cashed in about 20 grand, just about.
yeah, I'd say so.
And and that's been in the last, we launched about 2 weeks ago, like
Right,
started from zero, like just complete
right,
beginning of starting everything. You've run about 50, you've booked out about 50 appointments in the last 2 weeks. You've
right,
closed 45 grand in jobs. Shit, there's like 3 or 4 more that we're looking at probably converting this week, maybe. Yeah.
right. So I'm hoping that people start figuring out what they're going to be doing with the project, and then I'm anticipating hearing back from at least hearing back from them, seeing like what their thoughts are. If even if it's like a next year
Yeah.
type project, there's a good chance we'll convert some of those too. So it's kind
Yeah.
of hard
And you're,
at this point of year. People that aren't necessarily thinking about building their deck this year. So
mhm,
I think this is a nice way to stay proactive, finish out this year's schedule, and then maybe even book some
mhm.
for the winter, and then we'll see maybe some for the spring. So
Yeah. And for the jobs, I mean, right now, if you've already return on investment, you've already gotten about 20 grand back from the last 2 weeks.
right,
And on ad spend, we're doing $100 a day. So we're talking
right,
about you've sunk less than probably like $1,500 into, you've gotten like 50 appointments. You got
right.
3 more about to close. You've
Yep.
already closed 45 grand worth. So just like speed of that is just really exciting.
Yeah. No, this is far exceeded my expectations. Just having worked with other companies before and seeing what they produce, um, it's generally a lot of talk and hype, and then you're always just waiting for it to happen. So this kind of just happened immediately. So it's been, like I said, far exceeded our expectations. So
Remind, I would like entertain me, like, or what's the word for this? Basically, all I'm trying to ask is, uh, do me a favor and think, share, why did you decide to work with us, like with me? Like, what made you go, all right, I've tried Haibu, that
yeah,
sucked.
right.
You've tried some DIY things. Had you done anything else actually before that?
I've definitely done my own advertising.
Yeah,
Um, we used another brand called Thrive, kind
yeah,
of similar. They had an SEO or a CRM. They did some of the marketing, Facebook marketing, so social media ads. Um, and we were contracted with them for again 6 months,
yeah.
and again didn't really produce much. But they're,
What did they promise you they were gonna do?
I think, mostly impressions.
Yeah,
So
likes ain't
like,
leads.
yeah, right. I know, and like, I can go look back at my Google impressions, and over the past couple of years, we've maybe had 1 million impressions, but it doesn't necessarily translate to jobs. So impressions don't mean anything to me at this point anymore. So what, I guess I was a little hesitant at first. Obviously, like Facebook, everybody, like every type of company that offers like deck leads and stuff like that, advertises on Facebook. Like I'm still getting advertisements from other companies that
Right.
are
Yeah.
probably similar to yours. But what drew me to yours was the guaranteed 100 leads, which for me, leads is what translates to jobs, percentage wise. So when I saw it was 100 guaranteed leads, I thought maybe this would be something more up our alley, because then it leaves uh, the sale more in our hands.
Yeah.
It's up to us at that point to finish the sale. So, and then
So,
I tried Angie's List,
mhm,
stuff like that. So we know the leads thing works. We've had success with Angie's Leads. It's expensive, so
yeah.
yeah.
Compare that to this then. Expensive Angie, this.
Oh, this is I don't know, 20 times cheaper probably. In the course of things, obviously, like, if you look at our dashboard, we have 200 leads. I'd say solid half of them were for sure, you know, talking to.
Hmm.
And then what's been nice is the calendar, is people going in and be able to set their own appointments and whatnot.
Hmm.
So that's what the last 2 weeks has been, is kind of just like fine tuning the schedule to make it so that they can go in and save me time from not having uh, to go, find time in my schedule to do it, where they can go in, do it themselves.
Hmm.
I obviously have to like make some adjustments there to, some of these appointments are hour away from each other, so I got to adjust those to make sense. But realistically, most of the times that people are picking up are able to stay there, which is super awesome. It saves me a ton of time.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's one of the things that most people don't. I don't even really talk about it that much whenever like I'm in the sales call with you talking through what it is you're looking to do, and
Yeah,
they talk to see whether or not it makes sense for us to work together. But I don't really talk about it so much about the booking funnel. It's like a booking funnel. Like we're actually
right.
sending people through an application to be able to qualify to then try to book directly on a calendar that's integrated with your availability,
Yeah,
which ends up streamlining a whole heck of a lot because we make it super easy for them to take the natural next step, which is they just
right,
showed high intent to give you their information after
right,
filling out this survey and application process. And instead of just being like, hey, we'll reach back out to you within 24 hours, it's like, no, here's the natural next step. You actually go schedule on our appointment, our
yep,
calendar. The thing about that is by doing that, your show up rates, your conversion rates are going to be so much higher because
right,
as a consumer, at the point that you're giving your information, if the natural next step is presented to you to be able to book, it's like
right,
when someone does that, their intent goes from this to like this. And like you're
for
gonna get
sure.
so many more people that are like really active and communicative by doing that.
Right. And I think the problem we're running into is there's been so many leads that there's not enough booking times to really
Yeah.
go meet all those people. So if it was
Yeah.
like next year in the spring, it could look a little different, but we're also trying to like make sure we're booking ourselves, and
Yeah.
then, trying to plan for the next step. So we're in,
Yeah.
it's kind of a quick transition period, but like my dad was
There-
working with us full time, and now he's doing mostly sales. We're trying to get him back on the job site a couple days a week, but
Yeah.
he's been doing, I don't know, 20 leads or 20 meetings a week at least. So, and then I'm still doing some as well. So
So your dad's running all of them right now.
basically, yeah, he's going and meeting customers, so he's getting all their information, and then I'll generally do the bidding process of it. So we're kind of tag teaming that, which has been nice for me, because in years
Mhm.
past I'd just go out, meet customers, and do bids.
Mhm.
And that was generally in the evenings after I had worked a full day. So now we're
Yeah.
dedicating entire days
So
each
your
week to.
dad your dad's running 20 appointments right now a week.
Yeah, I'd say like 15, solid 15 a week. Sometimes they're up to 20. So
Yeah, so plenty of opportunity to convert, like a
right,
lot of cash in the
exactly.
door.
So, and
Yeah.
I think the only thing they're running into is, again, it's fall. People at school just came back in, so it might be another week or so before we start seeing more conversions. But it was nice getting that, first couple conversions to show like this is actually working. So
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things that is just good to remember is when you have high volume, there's a lot of forgiveness. It's like you could be the best closer
Right.
in the world, but like if people aren't buyer ready, but you get 10
Right.
more people, like, it's just like it's like the volume game. It's like, well,
For sure.
yeah, if you have the volume, your conversion rates don't have to be amazing for you to actually
Correct.
make money. If you have,
Yep.
like, for example, if you run 50 appointments in the last 2 weeks, it's like, I mean, you even close 10% of that. That's 5 new
Yep.
jobs every 2 weeks that
And
aren't
that's
in addition to what you already were doing.
right. Exactly. So, I mean, yeah, we are still getting like our natural leads and referrals. And so this is on top. So it's been a really nice compliment to what we've already had. I've been able to dial back the spending on like my Google ads and stuff. Like I still run like a, $5 a day Google ad just to make sure, my Google page is still being visible and stuff like that. And people go
Mhm.
and search for potentially deck builder in our area. So,
Yeah.
but like I said, we're still getting some of those leads. Obviously, spending $100 a day has been super helpful.
Yeah.
Getting the leads. I mean, I think we're probably 10 plus leads a day. So that's like I said, the scheduling's been super helpful to stay on top of that.
One of the things that we'll be looking at as far as the growing pains
Yep.
with you guys is getting in place somebody else to do the appointment setting. So for the
Yeah.
people that don't self book, that doesn't all fall on you to follow up. And I'm looking at building out some new AI like mechanisms that can help kind of nurture some of that for you. But big picture, no one's going to sell your business better than someone on your team. And so
Right.
one of the things that I have seen as the bottleneck time and time again is you get to this place and then like one of the owners is taking all of this stuff because you've been in a spot
Right.
where you can't really afford to have someone on a salary month to month
Right.
to like take what your referral inbound. But now that you have the volume, it
Correct.
presents a new challenge and a new opportunity to
Yep.
have someone else come in and help you
Yeah.
really get more of the juice for the squeeze than you're able to do just by virtue of being the guy.
Right. So yeah, I'm sure we've missed out on a couple just because there were so many that, not necessarily, or, that sometimes it kind of just falls through the cracks. If there's 10
Mhm.
a day or, you know, the 100 the first week, we literally had 100 the first week. So, um, you know, some of them kind of get disqualified for location, which has been kind of nice. We've been able to really dial in on the areas where we want to serve.
You got 100 in the first week with
Yeah.
with me, right? Like
Yep.
100 what? 100 like people that were
100
you were
leads.
actually talking to.
Yeah. So yeah, the 100 leads, and then I mean we probably booked 30 or 40 leads off of those,
In the first
and
week.
then yep. So so that booked out the first couple weeks. So that's the first week. My dad was, I mean, I can go. I don't know off the top of my head, but he was doing bids every single day throughout the day. So
Yeah. And that's a stark contrast. So a, a week before, how many appointments were you running?
oh my gosh, I mean, we maybe had like 2 to 5 maybe
For the whole week.
for the week. Yeah.
And then you booked out 30 appointments in the first week of
Right.
me adding this in for you
Yep.
guys.
So
Sick. So what was it? So a couple more questions for you. Like, what
yeah.
was it? What's it been like working with us through the process?
Oh, I mean, like having the experience of working with other companies. Again, we were like, I was pretty leery, but this has been definitely the best experience working with another company for the advertising. That we've gotten a lot of good positive feedback from our ads. People love the ad. Even like friends and family see the ad pop up. It's been fun to say like this looks like a professional advertisement company, and so it's been honestly it's been great. So we're super happy with it. We've been even talking like what's the process of extending this and keeping this going for us because it's been working. So
And we're still within the first 3 weeks, 2 weeks.
right.
And you guys are talking about wanting to to wife me up.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, like this is giving us the ability to think about expanding. Like it's been something we've talked about for a couple of years now. It's we've been able to maintain with what we got, but we're looking at potentially starting next year with a second crew, and then who knows where it goes from there. So
Yeah, so let's actually like talk about that just for a second. You've been kind of stagnating around the 1 mil mark for
right.
how long?
Man, probably 4 5 years now.
And you guys have been in business for about a decade, yeah?
Yep. So
And then looking into 2026, off of what you currently have going on with work coming in with me,
yep.
all things stay the same and things improve because we continuously work together and refine it. And like, I'm not going away. As long as you guys are happy, I'm going to be here.
Yeah.
What's kind of your vision for 26? So
Yeah. I mean, ideally, like getting a second crew started, especially since like there's specific cities that we work in quite often right now.
yeah.
And so seeing those same cities pop up in our lead generator,
Mhm.
it's been able to allow us to kind of like say no to some of these. Like there's some of these decks are about an hour and a half away. It's like I'm not gonna. It's hard to prior or like
Mhm.
commit to going and meeting that customer when I have 5 people close by.
And that's a
So
nice problem to have, right? Because it's like,
right,
oh, beggars aren't choosers,
right,
but you're now starting to
exactly.
choose because the
Yeah.
volume's there.
And like I don't want to take those leads for granted, but it's hard. Like I said, it's hard to justify driving an hour and a half past. Again, probably close to 4 or 5 jobs.
I will say, I haven't thrown this your way yet, but one of the things you could do, just as like a fun, like food for thought,
Yeah,
especially you may not want to do this right now because of the time it might take, but especially if you bring in an admin or whatever
yeah,
to potentially handle some of this, having it in your, kind of having it in your playbook of, well, we're not going to run that because it's a little bit further than we want to go. But, well, I mean, obviously, you should still pull up the address they gave you just to see if it's like, it might be worth it.
right. Yeah,
But if you like bet it out and then you're like, oh, I don't know, then you can always call like a someone in a different area, like a different builder, and
right.
basically sell them a lead.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you could sell them a lead and like,
And I have actually done that. I have a friend who's a contractor too, and I haven't sold him any just because he's my friend. I've
mhm,
bet him a few leads that I wasn't so much interested in, and I'm not sure exactly what they've turned into yet, but
yeah.
that was like last week. Gave him, I think I've given him 2 or 3. So
Yeah, you have some sort of like, or you have some sort of agreement where it's like, all right, I get like 5% of the gross of
yeah,
anything we send your way, like, because I'm the rep,
right. I
right?
know it's gonna be like so much fine tuning as soon as we figure out like what to do with
Yeah.
all the leads. Really, this could definitely be like a full time
Mhm.
thing for us. We're just not quite like I said. If it was spring, it'd be a little different just because we'd
Walk
have the
before you walk before you run, right? Like,
right.
yeah.
So
Well, we're walking before we run. I mean, you're running. It's actually you're having a run, but you're not. It's being wise to make sure that you count the cost of bringing someone else on
right,
and making sure that you have the volume sustained, all that good stuff.
right. So and that's what we're working towards. Like I forgot what I was gonna say, but like I said, we're hoping that we can be into 2 crews next year. Um, and then being fully sustainable, especially like I said, in our like core areas. And then the step after that would probably be expanding back into some of these further areas when
Hmm.
we can afford to have someone being full-time sales
Yeah.
and dedicating a day to go
So
an hour.
you're doing about 1 to 1.2 right now.
Go.
Looking at 2026, what is your have you had the chance like mentally to process the projection opportunity right now for the new year?
A number pops in my head. If we were hit 2 million, I would be ecstatic.
A
I
double.
think yeah, basically doubling. I think it's definitely possible, just because of the the time that we're not necessarily able to go out and build every single day because we are taking time away. Like I'm taking time away sometimes to be in the office. So um, you know, if I don't have to, well, even if I still kept those days, if we had another crew working, that's generating basically double the amount of revenue. So
So right now, really at this point, it's the constraint just swapped rapidly from our bottleneck to growth is getting more opportunities, getting more appointments, getting to talk to more customers to, oh, we're getting more than we can handle.
Right.
Now I got to figure out the other side of the equation, which is an exciting place to be because now you have the cash coming in the door to be able to like
exactly
things.
So no, this is exactly what we've needed and wanted. So like I'd rather have that problem of having too many leads. And then we have a nice list of customers that we can send out an email blast to this winter and see who's looking for a spring deck. Because again, quite a few people that I've talked to have said that they're more interested in spring, and so they're not even necessarily looking for a quote at the moment. They just saw our information or saw our ad, put their information in, and
but the cool thing is like anyone has been in sales for long enough, like you will have people that are like buyer ready. You're gonna have people that come in who are shopping around.
Yep.
And you're gonna have people who are like, shopping around. It's like it's next season, but now that part of your pipeline is getting stacked to where it's like you're shaking the trees right now that are like converting quickly, and you're like, oh, like okay, like you were telling me this today on the phone. It's like our spring is now starting to get booked into.
Yeah.
And that's 6 months from now. You know what I mean? Like 6 months out from now, and being able to see, okay, like we're getting people that are interested for next season. That's great because we don't have the capacity to even handle all the opportunity. If everyone was wanting it right now, we don't have the manpower for it. So booking me out for 6 months from now gives us actually the indication that like we actually know where our our revenue's coming from already 6 months out.
So yeah, no, it's like super encouraging. It's I had another good thing to say, but no, it's been being. Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, we're only like less than 3 weeks in, so we're kind of projecting how many leads we're gonna get because they've been pretty consistent. They might slow down here once the weather cools off a bit, but even if it went to half, we're still projecting an astronomical amount of leads. So, I'm still. Okay.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm still trying to follow up with some of the first round of leads, seeing if they're interested. We get some no's, and then we get some people who are saying next spring. Some people don't answer, so just trying to figure out what those numbers are looking like, and that's what I'm thinking these first few weeks are going to be.
I'm pulling up your pipeline right now. I'm looking at we've been going for the last 3 weeks. You've gotten 213 that have come in. You have 37 new, 75 you're currently in conversation with. 15 of those have turned into just like not being responsive, which by ratios, that's like to be expected. Yep. And then you have 86 confirmed appointments. You got one for the 25th, the 25th, the 11th, the 11th, the 16th, so on and so forth. So you guys are
they're booking out the appointments for sure. So which is
your average lead per week right now is about 75. You're getting like 75 new opportunities per week on your current ad spend $100 a day. You're getting about 70, let's just call it 70 leads a week for about $700.
Yeah. $10 a day or so.
With real humans that are reaching out to you and booking appointments.
Versus 184 Angie's leads or whatever it is. So
that are shared. Like these are all exclusive. These are
guaranteed to get an appointment with them. So
so that's awesome.
Super ecstatic with the what we've been getting. So
well, let me ask you a question to round off this conversation. So I'm gonna share this video on my on my website for people that are kind of just tinkering around saying like, You used to be the guy that was looking on Google trying to find answers. You used to be the
Right.
guy that was getting hit with ads, and you were considering every single one of them. Like, maybe, I don't know. Like, that sounds kind of good, but
Getting kind of
um,
desperate.
yeah, exactly. But so for the guys that are watching that video right now on my page right now, we're talking to them, and I'm asking you the question of, like, if anyone is watching that video, watching this video of us, just the conversation we just had, and is on the fence about working with me, working with my
Right.
team, what would you tell them?
Like I understand, like it's a scary step. It's like it's a step of faith, really. Like, you're trusting. I'm trusting you. I'm paying you up front to produce something that I need. And it's a chunk of change up front. And so, like I said, it's kind of like a step of faith. But you've been very you come across very trustworthy. So that's kind of what helped sell it for us. Um, Again, you're really knowledgeable in your product. You sell your product very well. So, and you come across very confident in what you're doing. So, that instills the confidence in us to move forward. Like I said, we just came from spending 20 some $1,000s last year on somebody who kind of promised similar things,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but the way that you do it and you know your product really encouraged us to try it again. So, and it's been the best thing we've ever done, really. So
Love it, man. Love it.
yeah.
When it comes to I love marketing. I love marketing myself,
Yeah.
running to guys like you. I love marketing my clients,
Yeah.
partnering with you to help you attract people to your world like I attracted you into mine, and then
Yep.
making new relationships that are actually really positive. And
Yeah.
and for me, that's where it's really fun, especially is when it's not only working for me, right, but it's working for you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like when you're like killing it, and it being the moment where you're calling. Literally, you reached out to me like less than a weekend, slams. You're like, hey, I need to talk to you about the calendar thing. We gotta like make an adjustment.
Right.
And then I didn't hear from you. I like texted you back like 2 or 3 times before I heard back. And a week later, you're like, hey man, so sorry. We've been crazy busy, which I love to hear that
Yeah.
because that's the kind of problem that I'm trying to create for you. My whole MO is under promise, over deliver,
Right.
make it to where the problem that you've been dealing with time and time and time again, where you've been kicked around by people who overpromise and
Right.
underdeliver, who don't fulfill, who cause you to light your money on fire, make it to where your lead problem goes away forever,
Right.
and we can start dealing with new problems that are exciting growth problems
Right.
versus the catch 22 spot where you've been. I'm like, well, we need leads, but I'm terrified of spending money to make money because it's one thing to spend money, it's another thing to light on fire. And
Right.
being a wise steward of those resources is really important. So trying to like sniff that out, vet that out, to get to this side of things to where it's like, oh, this is working. I love
Yeah.
those moments, man.
Right. Nope. Like I said, we're super happy. It was a very not stressful first week of signing up for it and then waiting for that first.
Yeah, there's about a week. There's about a week there where it's like, okay, like you've just paid me.
Yep.
You're getting emails, you're getting, onboarded, we're communicating that whole
Right.
time. It's not like you paid me and then we're like waiting for a week to see what happens.
Yeah, I
It's like
haven't heard
you're,
anything now.
you're talking to me, we're talking still,
Yep.
like we're moving things forward, we're having an onboarding call,
Yeah.
we're getting things set up. But it is about a week to custom build the end-to-end marketing system because we're not
Yeah.
just running ads, we're building funnels, we're building
Yep.
uh, email automation, SMS automation, booking applications and all of that good stuff. In the first week, it takes about a week to build all that out.
Yeah.
So there is a time lag between like, all right, you paid something, now we're having to build the foundations
Right.
before we can then run ads to anything. And then, we about day 8 usually turn things on.
Yep.
And then just like that, day 8,
Yeah.
first day of running ads. What, you had like 3 appointments, five appointments like that flip flop like
Yeah.
that?
I mean, I think we had 7, 8 leads. I was like, okay, this is pretty good. And then the next day we had like 15 leads. And then the next day we got like 12 to 15 leads. And then it was just kind of it's been like 10 every single day at least. So
for the last like 3 weeks. Just like
yeah.
work. Yeah. Yeah. Well, awesome, man. I appreciate you taking the time to just share kind of your story, your kind of your testimony on that. Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's like I'm not one of those trust me, bro guys. I want to like
Yeah.
show what I can, prove what I can. But I think that one of the best ways to help someone like yourself a few weeks ago, get
Right.
across the line is by able to say like, hey, listen, I'm not just going to tell you it works. Let me show you it works. Let me let you actually hear someone that's actually in your industry,
Yeah.
that's a part of my niche that I'm serving currently, talk to their actual experience. And it's those, it's videos like this that hopefully start giving people the confidence to take that leap of faith. Because
Right.
at the end of the day, it's always going to be that, but it's a lot easier to do that when you actually have a reason to have faith in somebody,
For
right?
sure.
And
Yep.
a video like this hopefully helps give that someone.
Yeah. So no, we've been, like I said, super happy. So
Cool deal, man. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and stop the call on this, and
okay.
thank you again for taking the time for that, and um, we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. Thanks, man.
All right. Sounds good. We'll check in a little bit.
So let's recap what just happened here. Mike went from struggling with expensive, failed marketing attempts, burning through 20 grand on SEO that barely moved the needle, running maybe 3 to 4 appointments per week, stuck at the same revenue level for more than 5 years straight. But in just 14 days with our system, he's now running 3 to 4 appointments every single day, booked out 5 weeks in advance, closed over 45 grand in new contracts, and he's already planning to double his business to 2 million next year. So here's exactly how we did it. We built him a complete lead generation system, custom ads, booking funnels, automated follow-up that delivers 10 plus qualified leads every single day at about $10 per lead for him instead of paying the $184 he was paying elsewhere for shared leads. Now here's the thing, Mike's results aren't unique. The same system is working for deck builders, contractors, home service businesses across the country. But I can only work with a limited number of clients because we custom build everything for your specific market and business. So if you're tired of throwing money at marketing that doesn't work, if you want to go from feast to famine, booked solid like Mike did, then click the link in the description right now to apply to work with me and my team. Fair warning, this is not for everyone. We only work with serious business owners who are ready to scale. But if that is you, click the link below and let's see if we're a good fit. Because the only thing that's worse than not having enough leads is looking back a year from now wishing you'd taken action today.